and welcome to the OLBG Mares Handicap Hurdle, 2 mile 5 furlongs here at Cheltenham. Okay, number 1, Cryptic, David Robertson. Number 2, Costa Villela, David Thompson. 3, Juliet Bravo, Paul Rhodes. 4, Canopa, S. Gray. 5, Prostar Fennis, D. French. 6, Grey Star, G. Clutterbuck. 7, Red Square, Kevin Minahan. 8, Trebago, James Follis. 9, Made in Europe, Martin Leadham. 10, Margarita J. Shea. 11, JVJ, Doug Warren. And I missed a couple at the end there, I do apologise. Okay, as they're straight into the first there, and everybody skips over that hurdle quite nicely. So it looks like Shine Kylos is going to start to take this up, with Canopa just closest to us here. Then they're probably a length or 2 lengths ahead of Cryptic, Super Commando and Juliet Bravo, who are then a further length ahead of JVJ, Prostar, Fennis, Made in Europe, Costa Villela, Margarita, Grey Star and Red Square just bringing up the rear. So we'll jump to, as they approach up to the third now, Shine Kylo still leading from Canopa, a couple of lengths back to Super Commando, Cryptic, Trebago, Juliet Bravo and Made in Europe. As they go around this left, slightly uphill now, we're still as they go coming in to approach the third. And it's Shine Kylogs from Canopa, Made in Europe, Cryptic, Trebago and Juliet Bravo, Prostar Fennis, Super Commando in the green closest to us here, and they're being chased by Margarita, Costa Villela, Red Square, Grey Star and JVJ, and they all skip over the third quite comfortably. And it's still Shine Kylogs 2 to 3 lengths ahead of Canopa. Just at the rear we've got Red Square and JVG fighting it out. And in the middle of the pack we've got Made in Europe, Trebago, Juliet Bravo, Prostar, Fennis, Cryptic, Super Commandos just closest to us here now, with Margarita on the fence. And that's followed by the Grey Star, Costa Villela, Red Square and JVJ. As we come up to the stands here, and they skip all comfortably over the fourth. You can see there's a few people out in the middle of the ground, and this is a bird's eye view as they go away out into the country, and it's still Shine Kyloads that leads. I think a couple of legs still ahead of Canopa, Made in Europe, Cryptic, Prostar Fennis and Juliet Bravo. The one that's closest to us here in the blue silks is Trebago. They're a couple of lengths ahead of Grey Star and Super Commando, and the 4 bringing up the rear are Margarita, Red Square, Costa Villela and JVJ. As we hit the fifth, and they all skip over that quite comfortably. These hurdlers doing quite well. Shine Kylogs is still happily, freely running along in the front here, 2 lengths ahead of Canopa, Made in Europe in the same silks. That'll be Mr. Gray and Mr. Leadham as they skip over the 6, and it's Made in Europe that now closes the gap on Shine Kylogs. Canopa on the inside, Trebago on the outside in the blue. They're followed by the Grey Star, and they all get over the 7th there. And then we've got Trebago, Cryptic, Prostar Fennis, Super Commando, Red Square, Margarita, Costa Villela, and one just getting caught a little bit for pace here is JVJ. So, as they obviously approach now, with less than 8 furlongs to go, as they start running downhill slightly, and they all skip over the 8th quite nicely, although Red Square got a little bit caught there. But now Made in Europe's taking it up. Half a length ahead of Shine Kylo's on the fence. Just behind them is Canopa, the Grey Star. And then we've got 2 lengths back to Trebago, Juliet Bravo, Cryptic, Super Commando, Prostar Fennis. They run away from us there. Margarita, Red Square, Costa Villela and JVJ seems to be a little bit detached here. So as they approach the 9th, it's Made in Europe. We've got just 5 furlongs left to run. Made in Europe, Shine Kylogs, Grey Star, Canopa. These 4 leading out as they hit the 9th. And they will jump over. There was a little bit of a slow jump there by Made in Europe. There's JVJ at the end there trying to get tagged back on. So it's Shine Kylogs that takes it up by a length and a half as they come down to the 10th. Running down here now. One on the outside you can see is Red Square trying to find some room and not go too wide, but it's still Shine Kylogs from Made in Europe, Cryptic, Super Commando, Juliet Bravo trying to make some ground on the outside, Grey Star and Canopa as they approach the 10th. We're in line now. Beautiful shot. And it's still Shine Kylegs, made in Europe. Super Commando making some good ground as they jump the 10th in the final, and it looks like Super Commando jumped into the lead there from Shine Kylegs on the fence, made in Europe, just dropping away here now. So it's between Super Commando, Shine Kylegs, half a furlong left to run. Shine Kylegs takes it on again. Super Commando trying to fight back, but it looks like Shine Kylegs is going to hang on here and take this one. And Shine Kylegs from Super Commando, I think Graystar was third. Cryptic fourth, but let's wait for the card to come up. And these mares did quite well. Everybody stayed on their feet. It's definitely Shine Kylegs. Super Commando was second. Graystar, the grey third, and it looks like Made in Europe was fourth. We'll wait for the final card to come up. And here's Shine Kylegs for Derek Hinton. Super Commando was second with Colin Clark. Graystar for Graham Clutterbuck was third. Made in Europe fourth for Martin Leadham. And Pro Star Fennis for D French came fifth.